Welcome to the Original Fighter Voice. I'm your host, Don Mcguire. Man, I want to thank Ramon Emilio Estrada for this show because, young man, I've been wanting you on the show for a minute. You're a young, up and coming talent. You know, welcome, Jesus Panterita Martinez. How you doing, brother?
Good, good. How about yourself?
I'm stoked, bro. I love sharing the young youth of the sport, and your first pro fight, I'm kind of jumping around real quick because I kind of got excited when I looked a little bit earlier. In your first pro fight, you got interviewed by a colleague of mine, that being Claudia Trejos. What
Yeah,
was it
Claudio
like?
Trejos.
Yeah, what was it like for you to be interviewed by such an icon in the
No,
Smithsonian?
in this whole in the whole sport of boxing, there's a bunch of icons and legends. So, I'm always seeing them. Even in the gym, you never know who's gonna walk in the door. There's always legends in the sport walking in here. So, I'm just humbled, and it excites me to be around those type of people.
Yeah, she works with me at BYB. I apologize to the people that are watching. I didn't get my boxing opener open, but Claudia's with us with BYB. But we're here to talk about you, bro. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Panterita came from your soccer days, didn't it, homie?
Yeah, yeah, yes, it did. I played soccer since I was probably like 4, and ever since then we're just playing soccer. And there was a guy on the sidelines, you know, he was seeing me play soccer, and I guess I was so fast and everything in the field that he was saying that I looked like a little panther. So, but he was saying in Spanish, so he was saying I looked like a panterita. So ever since then, it just it stuck. Being in a Mexican family and everything, nicknames they get when you're young, they just stick with you.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with everybody, I'm Fort Worth. I'm honest about everything. We're having a little technical difficulties. That's why we got to started 8 minutes late. Um, technology these days is kind of crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and play a video of your upcoming fight. I believe it's January 27th in Texas, correct?
Yes, sir. In Brownsville, Texas.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and get it out of the way so we don't have any more technical difficulties. So here we go. How does it make you feel seeing yourself up on the screen, knowing that in just a few short weeks, the world is going to get to see you again?
No, it excites me. Every day in training, I have that in my mind. It makes me want to work harder, and I want to give the fans a great show, and not only that, but have a great performance for myself and move on with my career.
Oh, most definitely. And see, I messed up. People comments everywhere. I'm just not doing too good. That's what happens when you turn
Yeah,
60, 61 years old. We're going to get the comments out of the way. My brother from Canada, Paul Driscoll, says, hello, Don and Panterita champion. And he also says, Body is excellent. I'm not going to argue with you on that. Uh, my second grandfather in life, he said, the Warriors are on. Another brother of mine from Canada says hello, and a dear good friend of mine from New York, John Grady, says, greetings, gentlemen. Thank you for tonight's interview. Thank you for tuning in.
yeah. Thank
Correct
y'all
me,
for tuning in.
correct me if I'm wrong, but your father started you about 4, 5, 6 years old, hitting the pads and mitts. What was it like? I mean, because you originally loved soccer, and then all of a sudden your father starts getting you into this other sport. What captured your attention? I mean, you were so young, but what captured your attention and made you go from soccer to boxing, young man?
Since I was little, without even knowing, like without even me knowing, I think I was always destined to be in boxing and destined to be a world champion. My whole family, my grandparents, my uncles, and even cousins, they all box. So I was just destined to be in boxing. And, I just remember here and there, when I was 5, 6 years old, hitting the pads in the garage with my dad. And I was always excited. It was always it was something different for me because at the time I was playing soccer. But, it was really exciting.
You know, then you started at 6 or 7. You started fighting in Mexico. What was that like? Take me through that walk into Mexico and your first time being in one of them big arenas, and you hear your name called and you got to make that walk to the ring. How nerve-wracking is that for a young man?
No, it was definitely nerve-wracking. We're at some professional fights in Acuña, Coahuila, Mexico, and we're just there to enjoy a good night of boxing. And there was a lot of professional fighters fighting each other and all that. And over there, they always, like, during intermissions or sometimes after the show, they have a bunch of kids from the crowd, and they'll throw money and they'll have them fight each other and all that. And I happen to be one of those kids from the crowd. All I had of experience was just hitting the pads with my dad here and there. So it was definitely, nerve-wracking because I had never been in a fight before or anything. But I during that fight, I was obsessed. I was obsessed with Rocky at the time. I still am. I like all the Rocky movies. Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4. My favorite was 4.
Yeah.
So I was so excited to be in a fight like that and all that. And it was a great experience to have at 6 years old.
Yeah, there's an interesting part of you because you kind of remind me of the gentleman that got 2021 Prodigy of the Year. That was Victor Morales Jr. He had one of the most illustrious amateur careers. I never thought I would ever see another amateur career as great, but here you are. Your amateur career was 137-9. You've got 14 national championships and one international championship, and you turned 17 and you went pro and you fought on DAZN. How do you feel about the accomplishments? Because I've been in this sport for 40 years. I've given everything that I have, and here you are, such a young man at the. I think you're 18 right now, correct?
18, gonna be 19 in a
Yeah.
few days.
How does it feel back? I mean, because you got your whole career ahead of you still. How does it feel to look back and realize that you've put in 137-9 fights in the
You know,
amateurs?
looking back, it's great accomplishments that I had in the amateurs, and you know, I think I deserve a little pat on the back. But none of that. I leave it in the past because I came into the sport for a reason, to be a multi-weight world champion, and I haven't accomplished those tasks yet. So it's just all eyes on the prize right now.
Yeah, well, there's another thing on the prize right now, and that's your hair. Because I know you made a statement that you weren't going to cut your hair until you became a world champion. So is the hair still there?
Yeah, of course, it's right here. A lot of people have talked to me about it and all that. They're like, when you become world champion, are you still gonna cut it and all that? And I'm like, yeah, I probably will, but they end up persuading me not to. They're like, it could be your style, even when you become world champion, just keep it. So I think as of right now, I think I might keep it throughout my career.
I think it's a great idea. Your father is one tremendous man. A lot of people, you look at Shakur Stevenson and all these other guys that Devin Haney, their fathers play a predominant role, and they don't even let their own kids speak in this sport. It's something that's really tipped me off and pissed me off. But your father is a hell of a man. For him to train you and to get you where he did, and then realize that he took you as far as he could, and then made that call to Robert Garcia. What did it mean for you moving forward, knowing that your dad loved you enough to send you to a place that would give you the tools that you needed to succeed?
Um, you know, there's a million things I could say about my dad. One thing's for sure, I look up to him, and he's my hero. When I'm a fully grown up with my own family, I wish I could be half the man he is. He makes a lot of great decisions, especially with my career. He knew his job in the amateurs was done, so he sent me off to here in this gym with a world class trainer, Robert Garcia. Arguably the best trainer in the world. So it takes a lot out of someone to do that, because there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of fathers out there, especially in boxing, that they're ignorant, and they'll take the spotlight away, or they'll keep them away from other trainers and all that, just being ignorant and all that. But my dad, he was smart enough, and he made the right decision to hand me to a great trainer.
Fantastic champion and trainer. Brother of mine from Canada says, "Hey, Brian Holderson." Uh, so there's another friend. These are all boxing people. So you're
Yeah,
surrounded by a bunch of people who love boxing. Steve Schroeder, great friend of Randy Commish Gordon, says, "Hey." And then Paul Driscoll says, "Rocky too."
Rocky too.
Uh,
Yep. For me,
and
it's
then
Rocky 4, but all of them are good.
yeah, well, John Grady says, "Remarkable amateur record. In your experience, what's the biggest difference between the amateurs and the pro?" Great question.
Oh, good question. For me, in my experience, for sure. I mean, no headgear. 8 ounces smaller gloves. But other than that, it's a different kind of pace. Amateurs, it's more like just a sprint. It's just not really sitting too much on your punches and all that. But the pros, it's still an intense pace, but you're still paced a little bit, and you're sitting on your punch. You gotta. It's literally like a chess match. You gotta calculate your moves and calculate your opponent's moves, because if not, 8 ounces aren't meant to play with.
Robert Garcia, he says you're a tremendous fighter. He says there's a few things that you've got to learn, but he said the number one problem with you is that you're a pocket fighter. When I first came into boxing, I loved being a pocket fighter. I mean, I know you're going to take a hit. What is it about a pocket, being in the pocket that truly embraces Panterita?
No, I love being in the pocket and all that, but I feel like I can have my own abilities to, box also on the outside and all that. But, I just like going in there for the kill, as Panterita. But, you know, often more than times, I think the amateurs, because, in the amateurs I got a lot of experience with different fighters. And here in the gym, sparring and the fights, I'm getting a lot of experience, and I'm learning all types of styles. I have to box if I have to, and go in there in the pocket if I have to, switch, all that. So it's definitely good experiences.
Yeah. Danny Salinas says, "Let's go Pantera."
So Danny.
You know, I apologize because usually my days aren't hectic, but just to the people that know you, my son has been in the hospital last 2 months, so I'm just trying to just slide by. But I wanted to do this show because you're a tremendous young talent. You know, to fight as a pro at 17 is tremendous, but to fight on the zone at 17, I remember when I had an MMA fighter, Sage Northcutt. He fought in the UFC when he was 17. So that's a big responsibility. What did that mean for you, Jesus, to fight for the zone? Because it's got to be a monumental moment in your career.
Oh, it was awesome, man. It was a perfect way to start off my career. I felt like I showed the world a glimpse of my style and of me. And, I can't wait to be back, on the big stage, and, show the world what I'm about and become world champion.
Now, the gentleman that you beat, I believe he was a boxer and a former MMA fighter, and I think he almost had like 15 or 20 years on you, didn't he?
Yeah, almost 20 years. That's the thing, about turning pro when you're 17. Everybody's gonna be way older, and I've I basically fought, people already twice my age. So it's crazy.
How's it going to be for you, Jesus, when you get the call and you got to face one of your idols because your idols are going to become your rivals. I mean, in this era of boxing, you don't have to get the 20, 25 fights in before you get a true fight. You got guys that are 9-0, 12-0, 13-0 getting world titles. What does it mean to you knowing that one of these outings you're going to have to face somebody that you looked up to?
No, I'm prepared for it. I always see that. Of course, I'm a huge boxing fan. I tune into boxing a lot, and I always see, up and coming fighters going against their idols, like De La Hoya and Chavez. A lot more examples, but that's just to name just one. But it's just a part of boxing, especially boxing and life. It's crazy in general, and it's unexpected. You never know what to expect in the future. So I'm totally prepared for it, and I feel like it would just make me much better.
What would you like to say? Because your career is tremendous. You're already 18. You're 5-0. What would you like to say to your father for giving you the opportunity not only to show you your dreams, but allow you to live them? And Robert Garcia, one of the best in the business, so he gave you one of the greatest opportunities. What would you like to say to your father in a way of thanks for giving you this opportunity to move forward in life?
Like I said, I look up to him, and he's my everything to me. He's my hero, and I just thank him for everything he's done, and being a part of my team. And my thanks to him will be achieving my dream and becoming multi-weight world champion.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot of fans. Ramon Estrada, he kind of turned me on to a little bit of your fights, and I started watching and started paying attention. And man, you got one heck of a left hook, but I think your right's even better. Would you say it's a fair assumption that the sport under Robert Garcia truly hasn't seen the true Panterita?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like every single day in here, I'm just getting better and better, and I'm blessed to be a part, of a great team. The coaches are world class coaches, and the boxers in here. I'm surrounded by champions, so I'm just learning here every day, and I feel like my style is just getting more and more sharp as the days go by.
Take me through a day. What's it like to be in that gym? Because I know several world champions, several contenders come through there. What's it like to get that ring time, that training in with them?
Oh, it's an amazing experience, every day. Um, everybody here is real humble. Everybody says hi to you, and they talk to you like friends and all that. Sometimes we even play around and all that. But when it comes to putting the work in, we go all out, and is definitely how do you say it? Is definitely a good experience out here.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you three words, and you can either put them together or you can separate them. What does dedication, skill, and determination mean to you, Emil?
Dedication. I feel like I'm super dedicated. I eat the right food. I'm always watching boxing, looking at my own videos. I'm always thinking what can I do to be better? What can I do to become world champion? And skills, of course, you have to have skills in boxing. You I don't think there's ever been a world champion with no skills. You have to have some skills. And what was the third word?
Determination.
Determination. Of course, you have to be determination. Not just in boxing, but in life. Um, not everyone's gonna believe in you. But you have to be determined. You have to believe in yourself. So all those are definitely needed in boxing.
Yes, sir. And the man himself, the man who set this show up, and I'm grateful, my brother. He says, Panterita, future world champion, rising star.
Thank you,
Bro, I
thank you.
believe that. And then a former WBC world champion, Paul Banky, says, "Hi, Don. Congratulations on your Hall of Fame. Appreciate it, champ." I don't really like to brag about those things, but I was just inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
class of 2024. It, it's kind of a hard place to be, because you're gonna have to walk that walk, mijo.
Hmm.
You're gonna be hated your whole career. So no matter what, you're gonna be hated. You just have to learn to be you and be happy with what you accomplish, and don't let anybody fade your dreams. Because I've been in the sport for 40 years. December 12th was my 40th year. I started in boxing, and I've been hated from day one, and I'm sure I'm gonna be hated until the day they put me in the ground. But I did it for my family. I did it for me. I did it for my family, and that's what I want to see out of you. I want to see you go out there and do it for you. I want to see you enjoy it. The path that you've created right now is tremendous. I mean, just look at a 14-time national champ. I mean, and a one-time international champ. What was it like being in Dublin, Ireland at such a young age?
It was a crazy experience, especially, being, I believe I was 13 or 14, and I had never traveled, by myself without my parents or and all that. But like I said, my dad, and not only my dad but my mom, they believed in me, and they make all the right decisions. And their decision was to send me off and with the USA Select team, and we went to Dublin, Ireland, and we came back with gold. It was a beautiful experience. I loved it out there in Dublin, Ireland. Amazing weather and a different type of boxing.
I've had anyone from Virgil Hill to Yaki Lopez to James Toney on my show, and you ask them what's the greatest moment of their career, and most of them will say the Golden Gloves. But here it's kind of awkward because here I got a young man that has fought in the amateur careers more times than you could shake a stick at, and you just recently turned pro. What part of this sport would you say has been your favorite and that you've gained the most knowledge from thus far?
Um, I'm not sure. I think just boxing in general, it's my favorite, being in the ring and, having that adrenaline rush and all that. And not only that, but, just the thought of becoming world champion, all of it is my favorite.
Take me through a moment when you mess up in the gym, because we all do. We all think we're, the greatest at what we do. Take me through a moment. What's it like for Robert Garcia to get in the rear end of you, Jesus?
Um, not everybody's gonna have, their good days all the time. There's always gonna be a little off day and all that. But you know, for me, there's no off days. I'm always hard on myself, and I just strive to be 100% every day. Because I don't want to have bad habits or anything where I can yeah, where I could tell myself, oh, it's okay to have an off day or not or and all that. No, I don't want any off days, especially on fight night. So I want to be 100%, and I always train 100%.
Yeah. Javier Rodriguez says Panterita's skills will be unmatched.
Thank you, thank you.
I can't wait for this fight, bro. I'm honestly, I now that my son's getting better, I thinking about driving down to Texas. It's not too far from me. Now that you're just a few weeks out, what do you change up from here till fight night? We're just about a little over what about 3 weeks out.
Yeah, a
What do
little
you
over
do?
three.
What does Robert Garcia do with you? Does he start changing aspects of the camp? Do you start doing drills? Take me through that.
No, we just keep the same training, same momentum going on. I've been training hard, doing a lot of drills, a lot of sparring, all that, a lot of mitts and all that. Keep on learning in the gym. So I don't think there's anything to change up. If everything's going good, why change it? So I feel like everything will be the same.
Well, the reason I asked that, you got a brother like my homie James Tony. The guy didn't like to do mitts. He didn't like to hit the bag. Didn't like to run, but he would give you rounds all day long. What is the favorite part of training camp for you?
Um, I'm not sure. I mean, to me, I love all of it. Hitting the bag, uh, but I think my main my main two are mitts and sparring. Those are my main two. I love especially sparring. You get that little adrenaline rush. It's almost like a basically is like a fight, but not going all out. But I like to work on my skills and all that. So I definitely love all of it.
I remember way back in the day, he came from the YouTube era, but Kimbo Slice had brought me when I was shooting fights. He brought me into the ring and he raised my arm when his arm got raised and the house lights went on and there was 20, 30,000 people in the arena and it scared the crap out of me. How hard was it for you to grasp being in front of all those people as such a young pro?
Um, to me, even as an amateur and now as a pro, I've always, blocked out, all the audience and all that. Especially, being in a like, because Me, I'm gonna be in an actual fight. You're in an actual fight. You're boxing in there, so you don't have any time to be worrying about all the other all the other people in the arena. But I love my fans and all that. But when I'm boxing, I'm just focused on my opponent and what's in front of me.
Well, what I was kind of getting at, you go from the amateurs, it's your first pro fight in the zone, and you got to walk out and the lights come on, and it's a totally different environment from the amateurs. That's what I was trying to get at.
Oh, okay.
Did you feel at home?
Um, I don't know. It was a crazy experience. I loved every second of it because there was a big difference between the amateurs and that. You know, we're getting taped up, gloved up, and all that, warming up in the back, and then the commission comes up to us and tells us it's time to walk out. So there you have all the butterflies and you're just anxious to be in the ring, and then especially walk when I first got in the arena. It was definitely like I wouldn't say I was nervous, but it was nerve-wracking. You see a lot of people in the crowd, especially with the lights, and then they're announcing you and all that. So it was an amazing experience, and I can't wait to be back.
That's what I was going to ask you next. What does boxing truly mean to you? Because I know that it takes every bit of your being to be in this sport. And I know some people that do it but don't enjoy it, but you can tell you enjoy it. So what does boxing truly mean to you, Panterita? What is it? Where does it sit in your heart?
To me, it means everything to me. It's my life. It's not just a sport to me, but it's a lifestyle and it's my life. I can't imagine myself without boxing, and as I said before, being in a family, you know, of boxers and all that.
Yeah.
I was just destined to be in here. And I think even after I have a great, successful career, retiring and all that, I would still want to be around boxing, just being a coach or, something around boxing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. I've never had anybody, like I said, on my show that had this many amateur fights. I thought Victor Morales was up there, but you're my friend. You're way up there. Javier Rodriguez says power will come as you grow into your body. Skills are harder to attain. You're on the right track. I have to agree with him, because you're getting the best coaching that's out there. You're going to grow into your frame pretty soon, and I feel sorry for your competitors, bro, because I've watched a lot of tape on you, and I really love that left, but I love that right also, and I think you're holding back on a few things, but you're supposed to. That's the way you're not supposed to show the whole world your
Yeah.
arsenal, and but take me to the January 27th, the fight with Mike Hill. Where does this fight sit with you, brother?
Right now, that's why I'm here in camp. I'm training for that, and I'm putting everything in training. I'm leaving no stones unturned, and I'm just excited for it. I'm excited to get another win, another spectacular win, and move on with my career.
Yeah. You know, you can loosen up a little bit, bro. I'm just giving you a bad time. You know, I know it's hard to come on here and do these things. I've been doing them for 20 something years, so it's a little bit easier for me. Your career has been a tremendous career. Your father has did a hell of a job getting you where he needed to, and then even passing you on to Robert Garcia. What would you say was the most pertinent thing that you've learned under the tutelage of Robert Garcia?
I can't really say one certain thing, but I learned a lot. You know, for me, it's so much that I can't even name one or think of one. Especially even now, I'm just learning every day that I'm in here in the gym, from whether it's sparring or mitts or he's telling me. But I'm blessed to be in this gym.
How does it feel going into this fight after the Jimenez fight?
Um, it's just another fight for me. I'm just really excited to be back in the ring. I want to be, um, in the ring as many times as I can this year, whether it be five, six, or even more. But I really want to be active this year and get closer to my goal of becoming world champ.
See, I like that because, a lot of the guys who are in the pros now, the ones that have titles, some of them only want to fight once, maybe once a year, maybe once every 2 years. And I think it's changed the sport. It's young fighters like you that are hungry, that want to come up and fight three, four, five times a year. I think it's going to be a great boost in boxing because a lot of these old timers are getting ready to go on their way out, and the new era is getting ready to come in. What is it about you, Jesus, that has you wanting to fight 4 or 5 times a month? I know you want to be a world champion, but where does that grit and determination come from? Is it from your heart? Is it from just a love of boxing? What makes you want to step in the ring that many times in 1 year?
I mean, those are, two good points. My heart and my love for boxing. Like I said, boxing is my life, and I just think my mindset and my determination to become world champion. I want to get there as fast as I can, and I want to have more and more experience as I go, and I just want to be, in the ring, sharpening up my skills more and more.
I like that. You've come a long way thus far, young man. I mean, the 27th is just around the corner. Robert Garcia said he believes so much in you that he's going to put you on every card that he has in Texas. And he just doesn't do that for anybody. So you're on the right track. And the only thing I would like to ask you is, do you feel that you're ready to step up on that next track in the world of pro sports? I mean, you're 17, you came in, you're 18 now. You're what? You're 5-0 and 1. Do you feel that you have what it takes to become a world champion?
Absolutely. Since I started boxing, I knew I had what it takes to become world champion. Every day, you know, I already know I have what it takes to become a world champion, but I make sure, if I have to add stuff or anything, that I'm going to add it to become world champion. I'm gonna do anything means necessary to become world champion because that's my dream and I wanna achieve it.
You want to achieve it for your family and for you. That's so cool. If you had to name one person that you looked up into the sport, as a mentor other than Robert Garcia, who would that be?
Mm, I'm not sure. There's of course, Robert Garcia Jr. and the other coaches here, but my idol in the sport was Manny Pacquiao, and I really looked up to him, especially in my early career when I first started, and even now. I always looked up to Manny Pacquiao, and there's so many other boxers I've looked up to.
What would you like to say to the people that are following you? I mean, because you're growing, your name's getting out there, you're becoming a household name now, and eventually you will be a household name. How hard has that been for you to deal with, and what does it mean for you to have your fan base continually showing you support and growing?
No, I thank them. They're the ones that they give me the urge to keep going and keep training harder to give them a great show. I always train hard, my hardest and my best to give all my fans a great show, and I just thank them for sticking with me, and I hope to get a great huge fan base.
Oh, I think you will. One thing that I've already learned from you and from your father and Ramon is that dedication. We talked about that earlier, but you truly are a dedicated young man. Most young men your age, they want to be out with the friends, they want to go to the river, they want to go do different things. And here you are 7 days a week, living, eating, breathing boxing. It takes a special breed, mijo. I mean, what you've already accomplished, most people don't accomplish in a lifetime. But it doesn't mean anything going forward. That's the sad thing about this sport. You got one of the greatest amateur records that there is out there, but now that's the past. What does the future mean to Jesus Panterita?
The future means everything, and that's why I train my hardest and my best, because I know the future means everything. And in the future, I want to become world champion, and not just world champion, but multi-weight world champion. So, I take everything serious in boxing, especially in boxing, because there's nothing to play around about. So, I'm excited for the future.
Well, I'm gonna ask you because I know how hard it is for some parents, but how hard is it for your mother when she's sitting in the audience watching you in the
Um,
boxing ring?
Yeah, that's a good question, because me myself, I've always seen other mothers. You know, it's always nerve-wracking. They're always so nervous and scared. I've seen it on other fighters, their moms and all that. But my mom is different. She's actually the opposite. She gets hyped up and pumped up for the fights, and she just one of my biggest fans. I always hear her yells and all that, and it motivates me.
That's so dope, man. I love that, man. I think everybody's family should be part of their kids' walk, and what you're doing is tremendous. I'm grateful to see young men like you coming into the sweet science. I'm not a big Fury fan. A lot of people will probably stop watching in a second here, but I don't think boxing has a true heavyweight champ right now. I mean, it's kind of changed since I came up in the golden era, but I think it's fighters like you that are coming up that are going to bring that golden era back. I think it's fighters like you that have that want, that have that expectation, and want to prove themselves to the world. What is there one thing that Jesus Panterita Martinez, if he could say to the world about what he would like his future to be, what would that be?
Just be becoming world champion. I want the world to see, you know, not only my hard work and sacrifices, but my parents and my family's sacrifices. I have to thank them a lot, because I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be here without them. So I just want to you know um make everything worth it for them. I want them to achieve my dream with me, and show all the world what it's all about.
Yeah. Now I know you don't talk crap, bro. I know you're not about that. I know you're a truly humble fighter. But if you had to make a statement to Mike Hill about what he can expect January 27th in Texas, what would that statement be?
No statement. I mean, I just let my hands do the talking, my skills do the talking. So, just staying ready and getting more and more explosive and more sharp as the days go by.
I like that, man. Just show up and shell out and show the world what you're capable of doing. I have three more other words that I'm going to ask you, and I ask a lot of legends this, but what does pride, passion, and perseverance truly mean to you, Jesus?
Pride. I mean, uh, being as an amateur, having all my accomplishments, and even now as a pro, I definitely have pride, and I have to have pride in what I do. And then what was the other two?
Passion and perseverance.
Passion. I mean, I have a whole lot of passion. My passion alone to become world champion. I have all of it. I think that's what makes me, so great. My passion and determination. To become world champion. Because without those two, it would just be an ordinary fighter. But I have those two, and perseverance, right?
Yeah.
I have that too. I don't want to, how do you say it? I don't want to, scratch my own back, or like to my own horn. But I have all those accolades, and that's why I believe so much that I can become world champion. Because I know what I have, and I know all the skills and everything that I have.
Now let's add a fourth word, and that's patience. And how much has Robert Garcia and your father taught you in the patience aspect?
No, of course, there's a lot of patience, especially starting off pro so young, at 17. So of course they have patience, and they're guiding my career they're guiding my career the right way. They have a lot of patience and they know uh, where I need to be going.
You're such a you're a tremendous young man. You're great in the ring and you're great on the dang podcast, bro. It's almost like I'm interviewing a man that's already been in the sport for 20 years. It's crazy how much knowledge and ability you have. Patience is something that I don't even have anymore. I guess when you get older, you lose your patience. I just have a couple more questions for you, if you don't mind. And a couple of my listeners probably heard this question before, but I just want to get your thoughts. It's the end of the night. Everybody's gone from the gym like they are right now, and you go and you turn the lights out. But right before you do, you look into the mirror and you get a brief reflection into who you are. Who do you see? Whoops. I think we lost you. I can't hear you. Uh, turn them off. There
Can
you
you hear me
go.
there?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
my headphones went out. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, no worries, man. Don't
Yeah,
apologize. It's the
but
end of the night.
you can hear me good
You,
and everything, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Usually there's an echo. They'll let us know if there's an echo here in a second. It's the end of the night, and you go to turn the light switch off, and just before you do, you get a brief reflection into who you are as a young warrior, a young man, and as a boxer on the rise. Who do you see?
I mean, I see myself, and I see when I look in the mirror, I see a world champion. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think I would become world champion. So, all my passion and everything, my determination is into becoming world champion.
Let me ask you the same kind of question, but a little bit deeper. How important, because throughout this interview, you say you want to be a world champion, and you show the dedication, you put in the work. You're deserving of being a world champion. But how much of that truly weighs on your heart? I mean, do you think that you should just let your career go like it is, or do you believe that you should continue to push yourself on that path? I think you have what it takes to be a world champion. Myself, I think you're going to be a world champion in the future. You know, what does it truly mean to you? What would it truly mean for you to be a world champion?
Me, it would mean everything. I'm accomplishing my dream, and I'm excited for it. Basically, I feel like my whole purpose to be on this earth was to become world champion. And to show the world, all my hard work and sacrifices.
And would you say, a part of that is to give back to your father and your mother for believing in you and giving you the opportunity?
Of course, they're the main ones. They believed in me from the start, and I just want to thank them.
Yeah. Well, Mijo, I wish you the best of luck on January 27th. I mean, I really am going to try to come out and see you. You got a fan in me. You don't gotta make a fan in me. What you've done so far in your career is tremendous. Like I said, I like your left, but I like your right a little bit better. Especially in that fight in the zone. You got what it takes. And like I think it's Javier Rodriguez said that your body will grow. Yeah, the power will come into your body. It will. You're just a young man right now, but bro, I think the world has a new challenger in the sweet science. I think you're going to show the sport what dedication truly means and what perseverance truly means. I mean, because you've been at this since you were 5, 6 years old. You've already got a career in this. And now you just got to show the world where your heart is, and I think you'll do that on January 27th, brother. You know, I'm going to pass the mic to you. If you have any friends, family, sponsors, social media, or anything else that you just like to add to the show before I let you go, brother, the floor is yours.
Okay, absolutely. I want to thank everybody, all of Team Panterita, all my family, of course, my friends, my sponsors, all my sponsors, I appreciate them. Wouldn't be here without them. And, I want to thank, all my fans, um, I'm really excited for January 27th. I'm training my butt off. I'm leaving no stones unturned. And I just want to give everyone a great show and, have a spectacular performance.
I think you're going to have a spectacular performance, bro. Brother of mine, Howard Gleason, put up three strong arms. And Danny Salinas says, great interview. Wishing Team Panterita nothing but continued success. Next one up.
Thank you,
Uh,
Danny.
my brother Howard Gleason says, fight hard, man. My man. Hey, Howard, you got to check this kid out. You got to go watch his previous fights. Mijo, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep listening to those that are training you. They got you on the right track. I can't wait to see that gold around your waist. I don't know if it's going to be 3 years, 5 years, or what, but I know one day with the determination, you will have that gold around your waist. It was an honor and a privilege for me to have you on the show tonight. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
No,
Uh, Go ahead, Mijo.
uh, absolutely. It was my honor. Especially you're being inducted to the Hall of Fame, so it's truly my honor. I'm humbled.
Oh, bro. You know, I'll probably get in trouble for saying this. I always do. This was my eighth Hall of Fame induction, but this right here means more to me than any Hall of Fame induction. Being able to share the future of the sport that I love, that I spent 40 years dedicating my life to, being able to share you with the world means more than any award that anybody can give me. Just go out there and make your mother and your father and Robert Garcia and the world proud, bro. You're certainly on the right track, and I was honored and privileged to have you on my show this evening. I
Thank you,
got
thank you,
get these comments out of the way. Ramon Emiliano Estrada says, "Stay blessed by the best."
thank you, Ramon.
Paul Driscoll says, 100% class, stay focused, tunnel vision, everlast. And he said, and work that jab.
Yes, sir.
Brother, I can't wait to see what the future brings for you. Tell your father thank you. And Ramon, thank you. And everybody, thank you for showing up. I'm proud of you, mijo. Continue to show the world what true dedication is. With
Hey, thank
that,
you so
have a good
much.
night. God
Good
bless you,
night. Have a
bro.
good night.
You too. I apologize. We had a few technical difficulties tonight, but we made it happen. I tell you what, that kid right there, if you were just to go look at his amateur record and just watch half of his amateur fights, you're going to find a kid that is just truly dedicated. I know all he kept saying was he wanted to be a world champion, but you know what? I've interviewed thousands of people in the last 21, 22 years, and I've shot more fights in the last 40 years than I can shake a stick at. That kid will be world champion. I mean, I'm amazed at his ability. And Ramon, thank you for bringing him on my show. Thank you for making it happen. You're a true homie, bro. If we don't share the youth, who will? So, with that being said, I could have had anybody on my show, but I chose to share, him tonight, Panterita, because he deserves it. The youth of our country that are putting in the time, the effort to become something better than somebody sitting on a corner selling drugs and doing the things that they do. Take a look at this kid. This kid is proof that there's still hope and dreams in our country. With that being said, I want to thank you all. Have a good night and God bless.